Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Sports Wilderness. I'm Wandering Moses, and I'm joined today by my brother Aaron. We're going to talk a little bit about NFL playoff picture and just get a little bit more of Aaron's insight into what he thinks about various things around the world of football. Aaron, how are you doing?
I am doing pretty good today, Mr. Moses. How are you?
All right. I want to talk a little bit about the playoff projections right now, and we can actually start with our own team, the Eagles. Eagles are 8-5-1 right now, and they have to come here to play Washington this week. Do you think that Washington will even put up much of a fight in this game?
I think that probably because they're within our own division, and I've never known the Redskins to just fall over and die, except obviously against the Bengals last week. But I think they'll put up a fight. I don't think they'll just fall over because it's a division game, and there's even if they can't make the playoffs, it's very slim. I don't know if it's even possible anymore. They'll probably want to play the spoiler for a division rival.
Yeah, I can agree with that. They are still mathematically alive. I do believe that if obviously the Eagles beat them on Sunday, they'll be effectively eliminated. But even if the Redskins do win, they probably won't make it, because if either Tampa or Dallas or Atlanta win, then they're pretty much going to be out. Now, speaking of within the division, you have the Giants playing on Sunday night, and you have Dallas playing on Saturday night. When you thought about the beginning of the season, everyone talked about how great the NFC East was going to be. Would you say that they have exceeded expectations, or have they performed below?
Their records, I think, have met somewhat of expectation. Everyone's at least 500, which is a good thing if most of the teams are over 500, unlike the NFC North, who at one point everyone was at 500. The records have made expectations. I think their play to get to those records, except for the Giants, and for the most part, have been kind of under expectation, because obviously the Eagles are at a very strange 8-5. The Cowboys had a lot of bumps in the roads, and the Giants are starting to show their vulnerability. And of course the Redskins, I never had any expectations for them anyway, but it's a very hard 7-7 for them. So I think they've played a little under expectation, especially for the fans in the area.
Well, you have to remember also that they were 6-2 at one point. They're 4-1 and 6-2, and just have fallen off the face of the earth lately. Now, shifting away a little bit from the division, you have the Panthers, who all of a sudden have come out of almost nowhere, and they actually have a shot now of being the number 1 seed. Now, I don't know if you watched the Monday night game from a week and a half ago when they played Tampa. I mean, they absolutely destroyed Tampa and showed who the class of their division was. Do you think that Carolina can make a run deep into the playoffs, or is there something that maybe will stop them along the way?
As someone who has Steve Smith on his fantasy team, I would like to think that they always have a good run, especially with the numbers he's put up. He might not be rocking the touchdown category too hard. I think it's 6 so far, as opposed to his normal maybe 12 that he gets, but he has 12 or 1,300 yards receiving, and I think despite their shortcomings in other places, I think they're definitely they have a good run at this. I think they're going to win the division. I can't give it to the Bucs just because I don't think they have enough strength in all their positions, but I'd like to say with Steve Smith, they have a pretty good chance. Carolina has a good chance of going at least to the playoffs.
Well, they're already in.
Well, getting the number 1 seed.
That's true, because if they beat the Giants on Sunday night, they will have effectively gotten the number 1 seed. If the Giants win, then they have the number 1 seed, which is hard to believe considering the Giants were 11-1 at one point. Now they're 11-3. Moving on to a little bit to the AFC here. Tonight, Indianapolis is going for a playoff spot, which of course I won't be able to watch, but you will because you have the NFL Network. I don't. Therefore, I will be stuck following it on ESPN Gamecast, or maybe talking to you on the phone.
Possibly.
Indy has been kind of a schizophrenic team this year. They started off really slowly, but they've won several games in a row now, and they're looking to finally clinch that playoff spot, even though they're behind Tennessee. Do you see Indianapolis as a threat to go all the way, or do you think they'll fizzle out at the end?
Well, except for that 1 year, that obviously in 2006 when they won the Super Bowl, they have this tendency to fizzle out. I think when push comes to shove, I think they can give Tennessee a run for their money, because I think Tennessee's a little deceiving. Their record's a bit deceiving. I'd be hard pressed to count Indy out for anything. So I don't know that they'll win the Super Bowl. I have my own biases, obviously, but I think the Steelers have a better chance of making it all the way than the Colts do.
All right, interesting pick, because Steelers have obviously shown that they have certain weaknesses within. Whenever they've played a tough team, they've managed to come out with a win, even though they've gotten smacked in the mouth several times recently by Dallas and by Baltimore. Let's get your gut picks for this week's games here, since we have one tonight. Indy is playing Jacksonville. Indy is favored by 7. Who you got?
Ooh, I'll have to go with Indy over Jacksonville.
Yeah, in Jacksonville.
Well, Jacksonville is far underperformed for expectation. I know that a lot of people picked them to go all the way, and especially because of last year when they beat the Steelers in the play. And well, it was in Pittsburgh, wasn't it?
It was in Pittsburgh, yes.
And I was very pleased because I hate Pittsburgh. So.
All right, here's one for you since you go to school in Ohio. The Battle of Ohio, Cincinnati at Cleveland. Cleveland's a 1.5-point favorite. Who do you have?
That game is going to be so horrible. It was horrible in the first time they came together. It was very different from their combined 100-point game they had last year, whatever it was. I'd like to say that by and large, Cincinnati should be the better team. I'm going to have to give it to Cleveland, though, because based on the records.
All right, now you have Miami at Kansas City. Miami is favored by 6.
Considering that Miami is shooting for a division title and Kansas City is 2-9 or something, or 2-11, whatever it is.
They're 2-12.
Yeah, there you go. I'm gonna have to give it to Miami on this one, and I honestly hope they can win without using that stupid Wildcat offense.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it myself, only because it just has really gimmicky feeling to it. Obviously, we saw Deshaun Jackson on Monday night trying
his best attempt at throwing an interception.
Well, he succeeded in that regard, but really he looked like Tim Tebow there, or an attempt to be Tim Tebow.
He's not Randall L. I don't think Deshaun Jackson was ever a quarterback.
I would agree with that, and I don't think Andy should be calling that play too often. All right, this concludes part 1 of the episode 3 of the Sports Wilderness. We'll be back shortly with part 2. Hope you continue listening. We'll be right back.